Iswardy Morni. He's a political and legal analyst and joins me from Kuala Lumpur. Good to talk to you, Iswardy. All right, so it is such a remarkable thing to see a former prime minister taken to prison after this ruling today. Is it likely that he's going to serve 12 years? And tell us what life will be like for him. Is he going to be in some high security prison with terrible conditions or what?
All right, thank you for having me here. First of all, I would like to thank Sarawak Report, Rewcastle Brown, for all the effort that she has done in order to bring this man to justice. That's number one. Number two, with regards to the prison, we were informed that it's going to be probably not as high or maximum security as it is, but at least it's a prison, and it's going to be, we hope it's not going to be something that he's going to enjoy for the next 12 years. And he's going to serve 12 years. We hope so, and we pray so, that he's going to serve 12 years in prison. That's how it is.
So is this really, this appeal that he lost today and the court's decision that upheld his prior conviction, was that really his last resort, or legally does he have some other options that his team could try?
There are two more options that their team could try. Number one, they're going to be, I mean, even today, one of the lawyers is saying that they're going to do a judicial review with regards to the decision made and also the conduct of the federal court. That's number one. The other one, there will be a royal pardon that could be made by the royal by the Agong, or the royal of by the Agong of this country. These are the two avenues by which he can pursue for the next 1 or 2 years. But with regard to the judicial review, it's going to be very difficult for him, because there's a lot. It will be, the test is going to be very high, and it's going to be very difficult for him to prove there is a misconduct or things that has been done wrongly by the federal court. Whereas when it comes to the royal pardon, that one I can't say much. It depends on the Di-pertuan Agong, the Sultan of this country, the Agong of this country, in order to say whether he's going to be pardoned or not.
All right, this has been a fascinating case. Iswardy, thanks for talking to us about it. And another great person to join us on this now is Clare Rewcastle, a journalist and anti-corruption activist. In fact, it was her investigation that uncovered a trail that eventually exposed Najib Razak's corruption. Clare, good to have you. So this has been... Yeah, as somebody who's been watching this since really before the beginning, this has been a long time coming. What is it like for you to see the conviction upheld today?
Well, I think I represent just how everyone felt in Malaysia. We really didn't know up until the last minute whether he'd be able to get off the hook. He had a last cunning plan. We were all watching this unfold and then collapse into farce, frankly. He had hoped that he could persuade he'd got his own party back into government after having been thrown out at the last election, and then the legal process had begun against him 4 years ago, and he was convicted nearly 4 years ago. But he was hoping that he could orchestrate an early election in the next few weeks that they could then win and use as an excuse to drop the charges against him, frankly. So the last few days we've been watching one ludicrous attempt at delay after another, and it was heartening, I think, to see the courts finally put their foot down and say enough is enough, let the law proceed. I think the other thing to bear in mind is that Najib goes into jail for this 12-year sentence, but coming up through the pipeline are the far bigger cases that he is charged with, and those are crimes for which he will receive a far larger sentence if found guilty.
Oh, you know, excellent points. Thanks for reminding us of that. And also remind us of just the sheer scale of this. We're talking billions of dollars, fancy cars, artworks, and also allegations that Najib Razak himself transferred millions, tens of millions of dollars out of this fund and into his personal bank accounts, right? Give us some more of the highlights of this.
billions of dollars actually into his own bank accounts. Yes, I mean, it's been a fascinating, if ghoulish, salacious story to cover, just the sheer waste of public money that could have transformed the lives of people in his country. I mean, that's what made my blood boil. It's what made Malaysians' blood boil, but it provided a fantastic story for the journalists around the world, charting his lavish expenditures, the Hollywood movies that they funded, all about theft, by the way. Wolf of Wall Street was one of the better-known movies that this stolen money funded. But you know, the scale of this really goes back to the endemic problems that were faced in Malaysia under the regime that Najib was running. And look, I'm already working on another story, along with many other journalists, about another equally massive theft that happened on his watch, for which he was clearly ultimately responsible for. The largest ever defence contract involving naval ships that were commissioned for 9 billion ringgit, which the money's now all gone, and a single ship hasn't been made. Now, the truth's coming out about that. It's just as bad as 1MDB. This is about a massive, massive corruption scheme that Najib was running.
It is just mind-boggling that this was even possible and to continue for those years. Clare, you've been on the forefront of covering this story. Really appreciate your talking to us.
And thank you to Iswardy for his next message.